Lloyd, and I'm here to see Dr. Kashpировский because I really like the work he does. I believe there's a lot we don't understand in medicine today, but I do believe that he is onto something that deserves much further analysis and review and an attention, frankly. I was diagnosed almost 4 years ago with a very severe case of lung cancer, a large tumor wrapped around my pulmonary artery that was inoperable. I was coughing up blood. I had another tumor in my brain, and I started chemotherapy. And during my first course of chemotherapy, I met a lady in the chemo ward that looked healthier than any of the doctors and nurses. And I said, and she was eating a fruit salad as she was getting this chemo. And so I said to her, well, gee, what's your secret? And she said, my secret is Dr. Kashpировский. And she took me home and showed me his tapes, and I started watching, and made me copies of his tapes and explained to me, since I don't speak Russian, explained to me what he was saying and the concepts, which I really believe in, which is like we are a walking pharmacy that produces our own drugs, and we have this memory that is deep within ourselves, basically, that remembers and can restore. If the situation is set and triggered, it can actually restore our body to our natural health and our previous state of health. And I wanted to be restored, and so as luck would have it, he came. This was in Boston. He happened to come to Boston within a couple of weeks of the time I met this woman. And I went to one of his sessions, and the first session I went to, he touched me and I fell right to the floor, and my eyes I could feel a slight electrical almost eyes fluttering while the music played, and he went through this session, and then after a few minutes it was over, just as it slowed down. And 3 days later, in the course of my normal chemotherapy and hospital and all that, I went for another chest scan, and it looked like 80-some-odd% of this massive tumor had shrunk. Now, if I could do it again, I would have had a scan the day before I saw Kashpировский and the day after, because, of course, when I went to my doctors, they said, oh boy, that chemo's really working. But I think it was a combination of everything. I did everything. Kashpировский helped. I do think our bodies are naturally made to heal themselves, and he has figured out a way to help that happen. And I did every other thing I could, from juicing vegetables and eating and breathing exercises and visualization, and all of this helped because attitude and positive attitude, and I think he starts his meetings with showing people like me that have had great success, which sets your mind into a positive mode, and then all of a sudden you can make it happen. And again, I think it's probably a combination of the chemo, everything together, has allowed me to be here today, because the doctors said I wasn't going to be living, but I am, and I'm happy, and I thank Kashpировский, and I'm glad to be here again today.
Last but not least, we know you have a secret wish. Yes, chemo was working literally, and your wish and your secret is under your cap. Can you show what is now here?
Yes, the last thing I haven't fixed yet. I got rid of all the side effects of all the chemo and the radiation, except my head was radiated because of the brain tumor. In addition to the lung, they radiate a little bit of your head for the lung, but also because I had a brain tumor, they gave me a lot of radiation, and my hair stayed throughout, most of my hair stayed throughout the chemo, but the radiation took the rest of it away, and this has already been 3 years, and I used to have a nice head of hair. And I remember Kashpировский went to Chernobyl and worked with some of the people in that incident and helped reverse radiation poisoning, and so I'm hoping that with a little luck, now that my body's gotten rid of so many other nerves and problems, that my hair will come back with a little...
So hopefully very soon we will see you as hairy as a rabbit.
Exactly.
In the winter.
And then I'm going to come back and show you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I wish you all success. Have a good health.
Thank you, and thank you. Спасибо.
Thanks.